Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, what's another word for a pirate's treasure? Djibouti is an 8.1% barrel-aged stout from Ludington Bay Brewing Company in Ludington, Michigan. I need help with these intros, so please start recommending new ones in the comments down below. I'll pick the best one each episode to introduce these new beers. I think they're pretty interchangeable. This is the first standalone beer that I've had from Ludington Bay. The only other time I've had them, or anything with their name on it, it was part of the Hazebot series, which was a bunch of collaborations with Starving Artist Brewing. Now, Djibouti is a version of Ludington Bay's Dark Necessity Stout, but this one's aged in a barrel. Now, I'm not sure what kind of barrel. I don't think it says on the can, but whatever kind of barrel. I can say that Dark Necessity is a 6.8% American Stout. So whatever kind of barrel this is aged in, it helps amp up the ABV that's in this beer. Now, I'm willing to guess it's a bourbon barrel because most barrel-aged beers are bourbon barrel-aged beers, but the mystery will more than likely be revealed once I get this can open and get it into a glass. Speaking of that whole getting into a glass thing, let's do that now. Fun fact, booty is another word for a pirate's treasure, which has origins in Low German and roughly translates to share or plunder. So let's take a look at the can here. I'll get it into the glass. On the front, it has Ludington Bay's logo. It says Ludington Bay Brewing Company, which is some trees with some waves, a bird. I'm going to say it's probably maybe a seagull, but let's just conjecture. And it says Djibouti Barrel Aged Ale, 12 fluid ounces, 8.1% alcohol by volume. And on the back, it says carefully crafted on the shores of Lake Michigan. Barrel-aged American-style stout with moderate bittersweet chocolate tones and roasted malt flavors, canned on South James Street in Ludington, Michigan, and on their website, ludingtonbaybrewingcompany.com, a little logo for their Facebook and Instagram, and then the government warning and some deposit information. So I got some new glasses. I just picked these up. These are kind of like more like Belgian-style glasses. I didn't feel like bringing down a large snifter, so I'm going to just use this instead. And there is no canned on date on the bottom. I picked this up when I was over in West Michigan, over near Grand Rapids. I don't know the date. I don't know exactly when this came out, but it's a stout. It's a little bit higher ABV. It shouldn't be a problem. Let's go ahead and crack it though. Get a nose on the can here, and then I'll let you know what I'm getting out of there. So putting a nose on it. It has, wow, it smells pretty boozy. I'm getting a lot of kind of boozy aroma. It smells like a bourbon barrel. Again, I'm not quite sure. Maybe when I taste it, I'll get a better idea. But yeah, pretty boozy, not super overwhelmingly boozy, but the strong smell that I'm getting out of this is just kind of like a boozy kind of aroma. Let's go ahead and pour it into the glass. We'll get a better idea here. That's coming out really dark out of the can. Borderline motor oil, a little bit more kind of cola colored. It looks like it's a little bit on the thinner side, and it has a really nice head to it. I'm going to say that's about 2.5 fingers. Really nice, tight, compact, dense bubbles. Really small bubbles, a little bit larger on the top here. And then the color itself is kind of like a little bit darker than khaki, a little bit lighter than coffee. So it's just kind of borderline right in between those two. Let's put a better nose on it here, and I'll hold it. Well, let's hold the light first. Kind of skipping my steps here. This is super, super dark. Maybe a little bit of kind of like a dark plum, dark brown / almost plum hue to it, a tinge. And let's put a nose on it. Yeah, it just smells very boozy. I'm not getting a lot of kind of stout characteristics out of it. Maybe a really slight kind of molasses kind of aroma coming out of it, and the head's hanging on really well, so there's not much more to say about it. Let's go ahead and dive in. So cheers. Very boozy up front. Has a kind of a really light mouthfeel. Has the booziness is in there so much that even after the swallow, I'm really just getting a lot of that kind of boozy characteristic on the tail end, on the finish, on the sides of my tongue. I keep doing this with my hands, but what my hands are telling you, if you can read my draft therapy sign language, is that boozy quality, that characteristic stays on throughout the entire swallow, even after the swallow. Even now that I'm talking about it, I'm still picking up on a lot of this kind of boozy kind of bite that's just hanging on the tail end. I'm getting almost this kind of, there is a little bit of a chocolate note that's in there. It's kind of poking, it's rising a little bit to the surface, but it's really overwhelmed by this boozy characteristic. I'm also getting, on the initial taste, I'm getting this kind of, almost like a piney, kind of pine tree kind of taste to it, which is a little odd. I don't know if I've noticed that in other kind of, especially not in stouts, that's not very common. There's just this odd bite to it, and that's it's kind of hanging in there the whole time. There's almost, so I said there's like this little chocolate note that comes through. It's really very slight. There's also this almost like a coconut kind of flavor on it on the tail end as well that I'm picking up. So I'm getting a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of this coconut kind of flavor, and a lot of this kind of pininess, a lot of this boozy characteristic that comes through. I don't know if I can really classify the booziness that I'm getting as really being a bourbon. With the pine kind of note that I'm getting in here, it would almost make sense that it would be a gin barrel. I know, I don't think I've ever heard of a gin barrel aged stout, so that would be kind of odd. And I just kind of find it a little odd that they don't mention what the barrel is. Most places when they do a bourbon barrel age, they really kind of push that, you know, hey, by the way, bourbon barrel aged, because that's, you know, all the rage these days. Let's take another drink. That's, you know, that spruciness, that pininess is more, I guess I was trying to find the word, but it's more of a spruce kind of flavor. It has this, I don't know, almost like a pine tar sprucey kind of flavor to it. And that's what makes me think it's almost like gin. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with gin. I'm mostly a beer drinker. I don't really dabble in alcohol much. I drink a little bit of vodka here and there. Maybe, you know, some other things, but gin's not one of my things. And I really don't drink bourbon very often either. But what I'm picking up is more of a gin flavor than it is a bourbon flavor. I've had gin barrel aged IPAs and I've had gin barrel aged other types of beers. And that's kind of that spruciness that I'm getting out of this is what I'm picking up in this beer as well. Now, I'm really curious to check the temperature on this. I have obviously have my thermometer here. I let this one sit out for a little bit, not terribly long, but it's, we're getting into the 50s now, low 50s, and it's kind of pausing right around 50 degrees, dropping down to 49. I'm really interested to see if this opens up, and I'll leave some more information in the description of the video, because I'm not going to sit here and let this warm up indefinitely, but I'll say something a little bit more and let you know if it's kind of opened up, if that spruciness has kind of disappeared. I have to say, this is not one that I would seek out again. If this is some kind of gin barrel age, that's great that they're experimenting with it, but I'm not really picking up on it. Also, I was looking at the can here. It says stout, American style stout with moderate bittersweet chocolate tones and roasted malt flavors. I'm not getting much of the maltiness out of this. I'm not getting a lot of the kind of roasty, malty flavors that you know that you normally think of with a stout. I'm also not getting much of the chocolate. The chocolate that I'm getting is obviously a little bit more of a darker chocolate, but I'm not getting like a bittersweet chocolate tone. It's just kind of this weird, stouty kind of flavor mixed with this boozy, sprucey kind of flavor. So I picked up 2 of these. I generally pick up 2. If I'm picking up singles, I pick up 2 because I like, in case something happens to one, I like to have a backup. This one wouldn't be one that I would pick up again, but I wouldn't be against trying other Ludington Bay beers. This one I think I would pass on for next time though. All right, friends, that has been Da Booty from Ludington Bay Brewing Company. If you find yourself in the tap room, let them know you saw their beer right here. So have you had this one before? Have you had any other Ludington Bay beers? Are there any that are your favorites? If so, let me know what you thought. And if you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell, because I'm here talking about beer twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's all for free for viewers just like you. and you might miss your newest favorite if you're not subscribed and getting those notifications. If you have any questions you want answered on an upcoming video, you can leave a voicemail or a text on the Draft Therapy hotline, 224-DRAFT-20, and I'll answer them soon. Also, like I said before, if you have any kind of introduction kind of sayings, leave them in the comments. I'll pick one at random that I think is kind of funny or fits the beer that I'm doing, and I'll credit you in my next video. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries wherever they are, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers.